Hey, what's up, everybody? Once again, my name is DJ, doing what I do, sitting back here on a Monday, chilling. And of course, it's not Monday. That's my catchphrase. And, I'm sticking to it. All right, before we go any further, guys, look, you can see I'm back online here, so make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and send me comments. I don't care if they're good comments. I don't care if they're bad comments. I ain't one of those people who only want good comments, okay? Whatever you thinking, feel free to post it, man. I talk back to you. It's no problem. It's all love. It's all about learning. All right? Cool. So today, man, I'm going to get into a subject that I'm familiar with. And we're going to talk about the three types of violent situations. The three types of violent encounters, we call them. Three types of violent encounters. All right? Cool. Let's get to it. Let me drink my water. All right, cool. So before we even get into the three types of violent encounters, let me first give a shout out to all of my my martial art gurus. Not my martial art gurus. I changed that. My self-defense gurus, okay? Because there's a lot of gurus out here, man, that's doing some real good things out here, man. And they really and I listen to all of them. My man Tim Larkin, y'all hear me talk about his book a lot, When Violence is the Answer. My name, Tony Blauer, I've been following him for a long time. Roy Miller, he wrote Facing Violence. I've been following these guys for a long time and learn a lot from these guys. These are self-defense gurus, and I follow them, so I had to give shout outs to them. Okay, what I'm about to tell you did not come from no research. I ain't done no research. This ain't come from data, police files, jail stuff. This didn't come from none of that. This came from right here and right here. These are things that I have seen and or experienced with my own eyes and or body, okay? This ain't debatable for me. This is what I have seen, okay? This ain't what I've read in no book, okay? This is what I have seen and witnessed, experienced myself. So I'm gonna give you the three types of violent encounters that I have seen and witnessed myself. Okay, the first type of violent encounter that I've seen or witnessed or been in myself is a planned fight. Let me describe fight for a second, because the first two has the word fight in it. Physical fight. My definition of a physical fight is when two people decide to settle their differences physically, okay? When two people or a group of people decide to settle their differences physically, that's a fight, okay? The first type of violent encounter is a planned fight. Now, we know, of course we try to avoid situations and stuff like that, but there are planned fights. Matter of fact, they happen every day. Probably several times a day if you go, different places, okay? It was big when you was in school. Remember, it was in school, I don't know about where y'all went to school, but at my school, at 3 o'clock, it was gonna be a fight. It was gonna be a fight at 3 o'clock, baby. It was going down at 3 o'clock. And you knew who was gonna fight. You knew where they was gonna fight. You knew who was gonna jump in it if the fight went one way or the other. If it was, you knew what was going down. It was a planned fight. Of course, that was in high school, but people, it's some adults that do that shit too. I ain't saying it's a good idea, although sometimes it is a good idea. Really, if I had a choice between which type of fight I would like to, a situation, violent encounter I would get into, I would choose number one every day. Because it's planned. You get to prepare for the shit, okay? So, that's probably the best. Matter of fact, that's type one and the best for you, Okay, the planned fight. Okay, all right. So the second type of violent encounter, first was a plan. The second type of violent encounter is the unplanned fight. First kind is a planned fight. You know, the planned fight, you're dealing with a bully or a social hierarchy or whatever, but this is the unplanned fight. You did not plan on getting into this situation. A lot of times you teach self-defense, the famous self-defense instructor talking to his students always talk about the bar analogy. So you're in this bar, right? And at the bar, that's why I said you should just stay away from bars. But you're in this bar and this happens, or this guy does this, or something like that. The unplanned fight, the first two on this list, is funny because these are the two things that men come to and train for. The first two, they train for the planned fight, and let me take that back. Boys train for the planned fight. Men train for the unplanned fight. Women don't train for that. Women don't train for the planned fight at all. They don't even think about that. The unplanned fight, they don't train. They fantasize about. They don't train for it, they fantasize about it. And I'm going to get into a video about how men and women train differently. But women fantasize about it. I mean, this guy's at the bar and he's messing with you or your girlfriend and you kick him and he falls down and he's on his back and stuff like that, you know. But that's an unplanned situation, okay? You didn't plan on it happening and it happened anyway, okay? Then there's the last one, okay? My last one. Now, I told you I'd rather be in the first one than the second one. I would rather be in the second one than the third one. The first and second one are the ones that men generally train for. The third one is the one that women train for, and it's the worst. The third one is the sudden violent attack. A sudden violent attack. You ain't know what was going to happen, okay? It wasn't no talk first. It wasn't, at a bar and somebody looked at you funny or talked and say, it wasn't none of that. You was minding your own business and out of nowhere, the shit went down, okay? And this is the hardest thing for somebody to train. Number one, because of the sudden, just being off balance and everything that's going on, physically, it's hard to train for. But it's also hard for a lot of people to train for that mentally because people can't fathom the idea of being suddenly attacked with no buildup. Somebody just came up to you, grabbed you, started beating the shit out you. And you like, what, why? Okay? But it happens every day. It happens every day. I was just watching something with the Gracies, and some 68-year-old guy got, attacked by, dude just got on the bike and just started pounding the dude, knocked him unconscious, took his money and rolled out. Okay? The knockout game, people walk up to you, pop, knock you out. Sexual assaults, you minding your own business, somebody grab you, try to pull you in a car or an alley, it's a sudden violent situation, okay? Men don't normally think about the sudden violent situation. They should, women think about it all the time. It's the hardest thing to train for. And when I look and listen to people or watch people talk about different ways of handling self-defense, they neither ain't thinking about the sudden violent attack. I hear people talk about, look, man, you got to plant your feet and you got to put your whole body behind the punch and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. In a planned fight, yeah, that's true. Even sometimes in an unplanned fight. But ain't no plant your feet and put your body behind it in a sudden violent attack because you can't plant your feet because it's all over the place. People talk about pinpointing your shots. You got to go for something. You got to go for injury. You got to go for injury over pain. Your eyes growing, knees, stuff like that. Not in a sudden violent attack. Nope. You can't even think Okay? You can't even think fast enough to do any of that in a sudden violent attack. Maybe you might be able to close the distance and grab them, you know, and once you get your head together, you can do that. But we're talking about a sudden violent attack. This is bad, guys. This is bad. And I have seen, I have witnessed, and been a part, or have been had to deal with all three of those type of situations. Okay, like I said, my shout out goes to all the self-defense gurus out there, but I'm talking about personal experience. Those are the three types of fights. Normally, men train for type A, boys train for type A, men train for type 2, and women train for type 3, okay? But everybody should train for them all, okay? Well, not the first one, not the planned one, you know, not unless you were in like high school or something like that. But other than that, if you're grown, you shouldn't have to, you know, plan for the first, you don't get no planned fight. All right. Anyway, guys, I try to keep my videos a little shorter nowadays. You know, I hope you guys are still with me. You know, like the comment. You know, like the video. Comment, man. If you know some other types, you know, put it down in the comments below. Okay. All right. Whichever one you're going to train for, train it to your best of your ability. All right. Peace. I'm out.